Hi, this is Russ Walden with Father's Heart Ministry. Are you troubled? Are you agitated? Do you feel like your life is nothing but a plateau of instability and chaos? Well, that's how the disciples felt in the passage that we're going to read today. Let's look at John chapter 14, verses 1 and 2. This is one of those unfortunate chapter breaks because at the end of chapter 13, Jesus is telling the disciples that they are all going to forsake him. And Peter, of course, insists that he would die for him. And Jesus says, no, before the cock crows, you're going to deny me 3 times. So he's telling them that they're all facing abject failure. And the very next thing he says, but, verse 1 of the next chapter, John 14:1, let not your heart be troubled. The word troubled means agitated, stirred up, in chaos. Are you agitated? Are you stirred up? Are you in chaos? Listen, that's not always as bad a place as you might think. That's not a place you want to back out of. That's a place you want to press in through, not into, but in through. Because Paul said in Acts 14:22, it is through much tribulation you enter the kingdom. And that word tribulation means pressure there in Acts 14:22. So press into the pressure, break out into the kingdom. And the kingdom is righteousness, peace, and joy. Now, Jesus goes on to say, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. Now, he's not talking about a cabin in the corner of glory land. That phrase, mansions, it means abiding places. And notice what he says in the beginning of verse 3, and I go to prepare a place for you, and I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, not where he would be in eternity, but where he was right then. Where was he? He was one with the Father. Jesus went to the cross to prepare a place that where he was at that moment, his disciples could be. Then they'd be able to overcome the agitation, to bring you into the abiding place of the Father that Paul talked about in Ephesians chapter 2, being spiritually located with Christ in heavenly places, seated in Christ far above all principalities and powers. That's why I make this statement. You are a principality and a power. People object to that. They say, no, that's the devil. Now listen, actually, to be accurate, you're a king. Jesus is the King of Kings. We're kings and priests, and we reign in life now. Ruling and reigning is now. Prayer is not begging or pleading. Prayer is ruling and reigning by the sword of your mouth. Opening your mouth and decree a thing and it will be established to you. Why? Because of who you are? No, but because Jesus has brought you into a prepared place that where he is and where he was at that moment, in other words, a man walking in authority in the earth, laying down his life, dealing with the storms, raising the dead, cleansing the leper, that is your portion. Does that resonate with you? Lay hold on that. Listen, I want to be the prophetic encourager in your life. Go to fathersheartministry.net, click on the subscription link, and subscribe to the daily prophetic word. Listen, you know who your pastor is, or at least you should, and you should also know who your prophet is. Just like you need a pastor, you need a prophet. Pastors are about green pastures and still waters. What are prophets about? 2 Chronicles 20:20 says, believe the prophet, so shall you prosper. And that word prosper means come to breakthrough. Are you ready? When will my breakthrough come? Well, who's the prophet in your life? The prophet is not the breakthrough, but he brings you to breakthrough as the two of you engage in a connection that Jesus designed when he sent the prophetic into the earth in Ephesians chapter 4, verses 11 and 12. Listen, take this word, mix it with some faith, share it with somebody else. Sow into this word. When you sow into the word, it gets you out of rank unbelief into absolute faith. Takes faith, doesn't it? It gets you out of rank unbelief into absolute faith, and then something begins to manifest that changes your situation. God bless you.